Hey everybody, my name is Jen and this is Jen Geigley Knits, and welcome to my Everything I Knit and Designed in 2025 video. I know a lot of people are doing this, but it is really fun to look back on your year of knitting and to kind of document it. And before I even get started, this is not a competition. It does not matter how many things you made last year. It doesn't matter at all. I don't like that, and so I don't even compare myself year to year like, oh, I did way more this year than last year or whatever. Also, full transparency, I had a different kind of knitting year this year, and it was kind of a big year for me. And so I did Knit Stars and I designed a whole capsule collection of knits. So truth be told, there are a few things in this pile next to me and back here that I did not knit, and I asked for help with sample knitters and my friends. And so I knit most of the things here and I designed a lot of the things here, but I also had a little bit of help because nobody can do it all. It's okay to ask for help. We are all busy and we do the best we can. And I had a lot going on, a lot of fun things. And I also had my regular knitting, design work for other companies and yarn companies. So it was like a big year of a lot of knits. But yeah, we have to stop and realize it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. My pile compared to last year or the year before, it's like, it's just fun to look at it, and it doesn't matter how much is in the pile. Also, if you've been here for the month of December, you'll know that I've been doing Vlogmas. And so just a couple of days ago, I posted my last Vlogmas video, and I kind of knew what day of the week it was, but then I realized this morning, like, oh my gosh, it's Friday. And during the rest of the normal year, I upload a new video every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. And so I realized I have to do a video really quick Friday for this Saturday because I, don't want to miss a week. And it's the perfect time right before the new year to look back at the knitting that we've done this year. And so I grabbed as many knits as I could find from my pile downstairs. I also have my yarn paper chain for 2025, and it got a little bit mangled and smashed, sadly. Like, there was a box that was set on top of it, not by me, by someone else in my family, and so it got a little bit crushed. But yeah, I'll get into this later and hold the whole thing up. And this is also a fun documentation of your year if you haven't done this before. This is not my original idea. I did see this on Instagram a few years ago, but I've been doing it ever since. And it's a fun little record of what you've been making all year, and it's really fun to look back on. And you can kind of see your year. Like, here is my Iceland sweater that I knit with Gillitrut, the Icelandic yarn from Helene Magnusson. Here is my Knit Stars phase where I was knitting with all magpie fibers, and you can see like this is that sweater and this is this sweater, and it's really fun to look back on it that way. Also, just a quick little recap for anyone who was here during Vlogmas. The bags were such a hit. They were so much fun. We did manage to string them all with little ties. They were all finished. They were under the tree. It truly was like a dream come true. And I had a little tear in my eye because it was so beautiful. It really was. And then picking up after presents were opened in the morning, it was like we just put a little pile of bags in the corner, and it was like, oh, like no trash to take out, nothing to take out to the recycling, no piles of tissue paper and stuff like that. And so this was like my proud achievement of 2025, aside from knitting, is that I made all these gift bags and we used every single one of them. And I don't know, this was just like the best part of Vlogmas for me was making these bags. And so I just wanted to like revisit that for a second and tell you that it all worked out, and I'm so happy I did it. And it was like my favorite thing of this holiday season. So thanks for hanging out with me all through December too. One more quick holiday related thing, and then I promise I will move on to all the things I knit in 2025. The best gift that I got for my children is this paint by number of your pet. You take a photo. There's a photo I have of Dinah sitting here on this couch next to the blinds in front of the plant that's usually back there. And I basically got this for Lotus because she's so crafty. She paints, she draws. She's like, both of my kids are artists, but this is totally up her alley. And it's this beautiful paint by number with all these little sections of our cat in our home with custom little paint pots for her fur and all the colors, like the leaves of that plant and all the outdoor, like you can see the blinds, there's like the trees outside. And she just started this yesterday. She just opened it yesterday, and she's already through like 9 different colors, and they're all these teeny tiny little sections with the little numbers. And it is maybe the coolest gift I've ever found, and we are loving this so much. I just wanted to share that. It is by Art Spark. You can see at the top. You can go check them out on Instagram and their website and everything. This is not an affiliate thing. This is just something I really, really loved. And it was like a gift that, keeps on giving, and a creative gift that's really fun to work on. Like any of us could really help out with this too if she gets bored, but she's not. She's like obsessively coming back to the table as a little section dries, and she'll start like a new color. And so this is so much fun to watch this come together, because it is going to be so cool. And then we're going to get a cool frame for it and hang it up somewhere. To celebrate the end of this year and the beginning of a new year, I have put my independent patterns on Ravelry on sale. So you can get 20% off with the code THANKS from now until January 1st. And so some of the patterns you're about to see are some of the things I designed this past year. But it'll only be my independent patterns that are on the sale. And then there's a little group of those. I made a bundle on my Ravelry page, so you can see all of those that are eligible for the sale. So yeah, use the code THANKS and you get 20% off on Ravelry. So go check that out. Also, my local yarn shop, Black Sheep Craft Shop, is having an end of the year sale, and it's very good. And their whole online shop from December 26th through December 31st. So it ends the 31st, 20% off everything in the online shop with the code BRAVENEWWOOL 2025. I'll put everything in the show notes below. So go check that out. She has a great online shop as well, and her physical shop is going to be closed through the end of the year, but go check out this sale because there's a lot of really great things, 20% off. And one last thing, Knitflix Season 10 is part of KnitStars. It is on sale right now for $67. You get all 15 of the Season 10 KnitStars, including me, and you get to see our lifestyle sections. So it's not like the hardcore class part of the series. You just get our lifestyle documentary videos all into one thing. You don't have to keep clicking play to go through each star, like their section. It's all put into one big video. So 15 of us in our cities, in our homes, behind the scenes. There's like a lot of in-depth storytelling, and you really get to know, like I didn't know so many things about Clara Parks, Franklin Habit, Alicia Plummer, Ann and Kay from Modern Daily Knitting, and me, and like all the other people in this season. So go check that out. I have that also in the notes below. $67 for everyone in season 10. I think this is the first time they're doing this. And this is my favorite part of KnitStars because you really get to know each person, and it's kind of beautiful. Everyone has really good stories. I laughed. I actually cried. There were some really beautiful moments in there. And so go check that out. It's on sale right now for $67. I think it's available for a limited time, so go check that out now. And then let's get into what I knit and designed for 2025, starting with the sweater that I'm wearing, which is called Greta. And it's kind of a reimagined version of one of my older sweater designs that I did this year for Lion Brand. And it is knit in their merino yarn in these beautiful colors. Of course, I had to use yellow, but I love the black and white. It's very striking. It's this yarn is beautiful and smooth and really soft to wear and very, very comfortable. And so yeah, this came out earlier in the year, and you can go check it out. I'll put the kit and the link to the pattern below in my show notes because this is exclusively through Lion Brand. And a huge thanks to Susan, who helped do this sample knitting for this sweater. She did a beautiful job. And this was during KnitStars when I just couldn't finish making the samples. So she did this for me, and it helped me out so much. So thank you, Susan. Next, and I'm gonna try to go through these kind of fast because you don't need to know every single detail about everything, but I made a Felix cardigan in black Let Lopey, and I feel like I made this at the end of 2024 into 2025, or I think I wore it to maybe New Year's, but it is a classic, perfect, the Felix. There's like a Felix pullover and the Felix cardigan. It has this beautiful little detail up here, which is a little bit hard to see in the black unless I'm wearing, like a lighter shirt underneath, but it has these beautiful increases with eyelets that I love. And then just easy black buttons. This looks good over absolutely anything, and I can wear it with anything. And originally it was like a little bit too big. I don't know why. I tend to like knit a size up from what I probably need, but I ended up purposely shrinking this a little bit in the dryer, and now it is a little bit like I soaked it a few extra times because Lopi can be a little bit itchy. But after doing that the last time, I threw it in the dryer and just checked it every 5 minutes until it had shrunk to just the right size, and now it feels perfect and I can throw it on over everything. So this was like one of my last knits of last year. The knit I am most proud of from 2025 is my Mosi sweater by Helene Magnusson, and I wore this in Iceland. I knit it to wear in Iceland, and it took a lot of time last year and it was worth every minute. So I knit this on size US 2 needles in Helene's yarn called Gillitrute, and it came out so perfect size, beautiful all over color work. And then it was a joy to actually wear this in the Icelandic moss on our hikes in Iceland on our Iceland trip last June. It is beautiful. It needs a little like combing because I wore it like outside with a backpack and like actually wore it quite a bit on that trip, which is exactly why I knit it and what I wanted to do in this sweater. And then I've worn it a few times since. But it is absolutely beautiful and a treasure and a memory of that trip. And so I absolutely love this knit, and it's probably one of my favorites from 2025. These two sweaters are from the same pattern, and this is part of my capsule wardrobe set for knit stars that I did with Magpie fibers, which is so gorgeous. This is the Magpie Swanky DK, and it's beautiful. And so this is the long sleeve version of that sweater, and it's a little wrinkled, I'm sorry. And then it has these sleeve openings under the arm right here. So you can wear it with your arm like hanging out of the sleeve. I cannot demonstrate this. I'll have to show the picture here. But you can kind of, instead of doing this with your sleeves, you can leave your sleeve hanging below. And I saw this on a runway show, and I thought that was the coolest optional idea. So you don't have to make the sleeve slits, but you can. And then you have like this option to wear it like that. And it's very fashion forward. And it's just kind of a cool little twist on a regular crew neck sweater pattern. And then you can also make this in a turtleneck, or you can knit it as the t-shirt. And this is probably my most worn knit of last year because it's a black t-shirt, and I wore this all the time. It is absolutely perfect. And this is the same pattern. So you need to just adjust the sleeve length, and you have the perfect little knit t-shirt. And this is also part of the Knit Stars capsule collection because it was like designing and knitting your own capsule wardrobe collection. And that was the whole point, is these simple basic knits that you can throw on with everything and that you can wear in your day-to-day life. And yeah, I wore this one all the time. Also, Erica, my sweet friend, knit me these samples as I was writing the Knit Stars class and patterns and doing all of that. So thank you so much, Erica, because I could not have finished all this without your help. And these samples are perfect and amazing. So thank you for your help. My absolute favorite design from my capsule collection for Knit Stars is the Strange Brew vest. And this one is available on my independent patterns on Ravelry if you want to get this one. Some of the patterns are Knit Stars exclusive, so they're not available, but this one is. I kind of made this one available for everybody after the class was released. And this can be like a cap sleeve t-shirt. I wore it so much last summer just on its own. It can be layered over a denim shirt or a button down or a turtleneck or a long sleeve t-shirt. It is just the prettiest, best, like especially in this exact yarn, in seed stitch, which is just glorious. And this is just one of my favorite knits of 2025 and favorite designs probably. And so if you haven't picked this one up, this is part of the sale that's 20% off with the code THANKS on Ravelry. Maybe this is my most worn actually of 2025. This and the little black t-shirt from my capsule collection are definitely my most worn pieces, and I love them so much. I love this color so much. While we're talking about Knit Stars, I knitted this beautiful little skinny scarf out of Plume. So it's Magpie Plume in, again, Strange Brew, my favorite color. And now I am so obsessed with this yarn that I want to make a whole sweater like this out of this. So it is garter stitch. It is mohair. It is light and airy and beautiful. You can wear it as a long scarf or doubled like this. And it is so soft. Like I've never had a mohair that felt like this. It is the softest thing I've ever made, I think. And yeah, I'm obsessed, and I bought more of it so I can make a sweater because that has to exist in my wardrobe like soon. And then I also designed and knit a little stack of accessories. I guess there's more. There's a lot for my Knit Stars class as well. There was a linen stitch hat that I love out of the Magpie chunky yarn. A little skinny scarf that is similar to my mohair one, but in a chunky as well. And I made this in a few different colors, and I love a skinny little rectangle scarf now. It's like my favorite little thing to throw on besides a Sophie. I made my classic cowl that I've made for years out of the Magpie chunky, again in Strange Brew. And I love just throwing these on as well. And these make a great gift too. Just like the Gaptastic, just a simple quick knit. And then I made a couple of hats, one ribbed and one stockinette. You can kind of see this is the color scheme I was sticking with. I mean, there's some fun additions like this, but this is kind of the colors I used in my capsule wardrobe. And I also made this really cute seed stitch little triangle scarf with the Magpie bulky. I love this one. This one was missing for a while, and I just recently found it again, but it's, similar to a Sophie style, but in a bulky yarn and a little bit different shape, and then seed stitch on the inside. So this is my little accessory collection that I did for Knit Stars, and this and a few others. For my Iceland trip, I knitted a hat and mittens. It's not a set, but these are all Helene Magnuson patterns out of Let Lopi, black and white, of course, because it's just like the colors I wear, and they match all my jackets, and they turned out so good. I love these. These are called the checkered mittens, and they've been fantastic. These all got thrown in the snow when I was blocking my knits out in the snow with the last snowstorm in the beginning of December. And then this has like the Icelandic stave on it, and then this pattern is so beautiful on the back, and I love this contrast. This is such a fun set that will always remind me also of that trip that I wore in Iceland while we were hiking and walking around in the mountains. I knitted just a couple of pairs of socks in 2025, and this is, the one that was a tube, but I finally finished it this year. Same thing with these. This was a lavender loom sock set. Sorry, they're wrinkly. That I did partially on the machine and then hand knit the cuff, toe, and heel. And then I made a lot of different sock tubes that are ready to be turned into socks. And so I have a whole stack of sock tubes that I've knit this year too. I just didn't pull them all out, but they're ready to be made into socks, and I'll count them next year if they get finished. This is really funny because I feel like this is definitely a color scheme that keeps happening this year. But I made 2 Gaptastic cowls this year because of the 15th anniversary of the Gaptastic cowl pattern. And so this one you saw I just finished with the knit along for December during Vlogmas. And this is in Shadow in Hue and Me from Lion Brand. And then this is also Hue and Me Lion Brand. I think it's called Dirty Chartreuse. And yeah, each of these took 2 skeins exactly of Hue and Me. And I love them both so much. And they're such a great cozy accessory for winter. And so thank you for knitting along once again. It's such a great little cowl pattern, and yeah, thank you for knitting it with me. Also this year, before Brooklyn Tweed decided to stop making their yarn, I did a little, not a test knit, they had like a sample knitting, like, I don't know what it was. A bunch of us made sample knits for Brooklyn Tweed, like as a release of their new pattern collection. And this is the Grooves hat that I made in Brooklyn Tweed Arbor that I love. I love these decreases in shaping that I've kind of never really seen done in this way. I just think it's such a cool pattern at the top. And so, yeah, this was one of my favorite hats that I made this year for sure. Maybe my favorite, except for the Icelandic, that set, the black and white set. I really love that one too. I ended up knitting probably 40 of my half-hour hat. This is my pattern. You can get it for free on Ravelry, so go grab it. I was vending at a holiday fair at the beginning of the month, and so I made a whole table full of these hats, and I set aside a few to keep for myself, and I wore this one. I've been wearing this all December, and you probably saw it during Vlogmas, but I also have perfect holiday red one and a forest green one. And this yellow, of course, I had to keep this one for myself, but this pattern makes a super fast, if you need a gift or just a cozy hat for yourself, use Wool in the Gang Crazy Sexy Wool. You can knit one in about approximately a half hour, and they're so cute and cozy and perfectly shaped and good for men, women, kids, whoever, teens. And it's a great little hat pattern. And I made so many of these this year. Okay, this is a sweater that is kind of a Lion Brand version of my 1999 pullover. They asked me to do some of my patterns in Lion Brand and then put them on their website with kits. And so that is what we kind of worked on last year. And this is my 1999 pullover, which is on Ravelry and included in that sale. Again, sample knit by Susan in Chicago. Thank you so much for your help, Susan. It was a busy year. And then we just did it in oatmeal and black. And it looks so good. If you know my original 1999 version, it's kind of based on the Gap sweater that was from maybe the 90s or early 2000s that had all the different colors, almost not rainbow, but just a ton of different colors, all different colored stripes. And then I thought it'd be fun to do a version in Lion Brand that was more neutral and kind of contrasty, but like really easy to wear. This is a super great everyday version of the 1999. It's kind of fun to see it just in, two colors instead. And so this will be available soon from the Lion Brand website as a kit. And then we have the With the Band sweater that I designed for Knit Collage this year. And my original one was in cream and black. And I love that version so much that I just got yarn to make another one so I can possibly wear it to Vogue Knitting Live in January because I love, love, love that sweater. And I love this version too. So I wore this one to Rhinebeck and I knitted it the day before we left, literally the night before we got on the plane, in their highlighter and olive colors. And I love this sweater. This has also been, they all smell so fresh and good. Like it's like such a woolly pile because I just put all of these out in the snow and they came out so refreshed and nice and like clean smelling. And so yeah, this was one of those that I was throwing in the snow. But yeah, I wore this to Rhinebeck. I love this version too. It's really bright and fun, but then now I have to make the black and cream. And so I don't have that one in my collection here at home. It's with Knit Collage. And so I have to make another one, but here's the picture of that original one. And then they made samples in like pink and all different other cool colors, a light blue with cream. And so this is maybe my favorite design of the year, one of them, because it was just really fun seeing everyone's color combinations that did the knit along in the fall. And then I want to make like 3 of them in different colors too. So it's just really fast and fun if you want a stripy sweater that's very wearable with like just jeans or whatever. So super fun and one of my favorites of 2025. Last but not least is my Finest Kind sweater, a beautiful textured knit that I made right before we left for Rhinebeck. If you remember, I almost knit the whole thing twice because I had a color striping issue with the yarn. Not a big deal, but I had collected some Brooklyn Tweed Shelter right as they were like selling that final round when they were ending their production of their yarn, which is still so sad. This yarn is so beautiful and it knit up really lightweight and really soft and comfortable to wear, just like as a sweatshirt with jeans. It's one of those perfect pullovers that's really easy to just throw on. And I love this pattern by Alicia Plummer, who is my friend and a great designer. And so this is kind of rounding out the knits for 2025. I think that's about it. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I really don't know what it is. And this might be it. I think this is it. So there you have it. These are my knits from 2025. And I love them all. I really, really do. And look at my color scheme. I really don't even try to do this. It just happens all the time, especially this year. It's all yellows, chartreuse, black and white, contrasty, with some neutrals, but like, it's pretty funny when you see them all together like this, and they're all like definitely a color scheme that I keep repeating. And before we go, let's take a look at my yarn ball paper chain for 2025. I'm gonna go back there so I can hold the whole thing up. Sometimes if you don't feel like you knit very much and then you look back at this, you're like, oh yeah, maybe I did. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I went through all my knits and designs of 2025. And be sure to go check out my pattern sale. I have 20% off all my independent patterns from all the past 10 plus years. So go check that out. 20% off with the code THANKS. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll be back every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time from now on. And so come back next time and we can hang out and start knitting in the month of January. So yeah, happy holidays, happy New Year. Please take care and I will see you in the next one. Bye.